Hey there. How's it going, everybody? We're back for another Macabre Monday. And today is going to be a special Macabre Monday because not only are we reading, some scary stories, some horror stories, if you will, but we're reading some horror stories from our very own here on Twitch, Mama Rednax, actually. And I'm sure they'll be popping into the stream here sometime soon. We're going to be reading not one, but two stories from Mama there. And they are fantastic. I'm just going to, I say that every time, but I really mean it this time. Well, I meant it all the other times too. But they're really good, is what I'm getting at. Hey, Mirage Rebellion, how's it going there, buddy? Glad you could tune in for this one. This is going to be a good one. I'm thinking about maybe at the very end doing, in the spirit of St. Patrick's Day, doing a little bit of a public domain story that takes place in a Irish countryside. And I'll probably just read the intro of it to keep this stream nice and short, but we'll introduce it. And then maybe next Monday, we'll go ahead and we'll dive deep into that one. Super excited to bring these two stories to you this evening. The first one, I think I'll read... Yes, we'll read the one about the demon. And that one's really interesting. And then we'll change it up completely and read a story called Stonework. It's fantastic. Both, I think you will enjoy. Hopefully, as much as I did on this Macabre Monday. That's right. Let's jump into the booth, shall we, and get it started. Let me turn down this music because, sometimes the vibe gets not quite there. So we're going to pause that. Now we're going to go to the booth. I'll meet you over there in just a second. Bye-bye. Oh, okay. The big long trip to the booth, as it were. Oh, man. And if you're joining me on YouTube this evening, just to explain real quick, if you hear the Old Spice jingle, that means we're about to hit an ad break on YouTube. So that means I'll take a moment, pause in the middle of our story, wherever we happen to be at, so that when the folks return on Twitch, they can enjoy the story without missing a beat. So if you're on YouTube, lucky you don't get that. Yay! But that's what's going on if that seems slightly confusing. And for those of you kind of, in the future, watching the VOD on YouTube, it really won't make sense to you, but roll with it, right? Let me pull up our first story here. Why do my folders look different? That's weird. I think they did an update to my app. So now everything looks weird on the iPad here. I think it's this one. Aha, I got it right. There we are. All right, let me put out here two Skellington Spoopy. That's right. That's right. All right, let's see here. If I could find my mouse, that would be great. There it is. Let me put out info here too. A little bit about the author and a little bit about the short stories that we'll be reading tonight. So, let me reset our counter here. Reset our flub counter. It's a little game that my moderator isn't here right now, but a little game he likes to play where every time I mess up, we call it a flub. And if you'd like to keep me accountable, you can type in exclamation point FLUB, flub, and it'll add 1 to the counter. He likes to turn it into a drinking game. I would just warn you that drink responsibly, because it happens a lot. Yeah, I'll leave that as it were. You can drink anything you want. Hot cocoa, water, Bud Light. Some argue that's the same thing. Whatever you want. Because we're going to get into it here This short story, is called Be Still, My Beating Heart by Macabre Rednax. All right. If you believe Medusa was a villain, you're not going to like my story. Like her, I am the victim, perpetually cursed to live a life of isolation. Slipping on my gloves, I look at my reflection. Black as a raven's wings, my hair falls over my shoulder, a shroud to cover the curves of my body. I loathe my piercing blue eyes and button nose, full lips and pale skin. The sultry smile that gleams back at me is an allure hiding the deadly creature beneath the skin. Taking my typical path, I head to the bluff at the edge of the woods to watch over the town as its little ants begin their day far below. As I draw near the ridge, still within the shadows of the trees, I notice a young man standing near the edge, methodically pulling something apart and placing it in a hard case. He speaks softly to himself, but I cannot hear what he says. Is someone there?" he calls, looking toward the woods where I am hidden. I step forward out of the shadows. "I did not mean to frighten you," I say softly. "You should not stand so close to the edge. The ground is not stable." He blushes slightly and rubs the back of his neck. "What are you doing?" I ask, my head tilting slightly to the side. "I was just packing up. There's a meteor shower tonight. I wanted to make sure I knew where to look," he says, closing up the case before smiling at me. "What about you? People don't really come up here. Well, not alone." A reddening of his face and ears follows. I wet my lips. "Oh, I know what the couples do when they come here," I say with a purr. "What is a meteor shower?" He gives me a puzzled look, and I turn my head the other direction, looking at him from a new angle. "Does it have to do with the stars falling?" I ask. He clears his throat. "Yeah, I guess without a telescope they look like shooting stars." "What is that? Is that what is in your case? A telescope?" My voice is soft and sweet, another deadly weapon forged to lure in victims. I should not speak with him. I should keep my distance, but I am intrigued. Something that does not happen often anymore. Pause real quick. I just heard more thunder. If the stream goes down, it's because I lost power, forewarning. Back to the story. "Yeah," he says, again clearing his throat. A nervous tic, perhaps? "It's a William Optics GT71. At my puzzled look, he scoffs. "It's not top of the line, but it's up there." "I'm happy for you, then," I declare, and then grin when he smiles at me. "If you'd like, tonight you can look through it," he says nervously. "I mean, if you'd like to come out here, with me, that is." A nervous laugh escapes him. I shyly watch him. I should not. I should not encourage this little infatuation we seem to share in another. Even amongst all the souls around me, I feel lost in the crowd. "I would like that very much." I pause, not knowing his name. "I am Lilith, by the way." "Georgie," he says in a rush. "I mean, George, my name is George." His ears turn a little red again. "Lilith? Like the demon? I mean, it's a pretty name." "It is a pleasure to meet you, too," I tell him, politely, hiding the clenching of my hands behind me. Will you meet me here tonight at dusk?" I ask, rocking back on my heels. "You can show me how a telescope works." He nods quickly. "Okay, then," I say. "I will see you tonight, George." Giving a little wave of my gloved hand, I step back into the woods and watch him. When he thinks I have gone, he fist pumps in the air, and a smile slips from my lips as the hunger grows. At nightfall, I make my way back to the bluff. The stars have not arrived, but I anxiously await what follows tonight. I am shocked when I arrive and George is there with his telescope already set up. He wipes his hands on his pants and smiles largely at me. "You came," he cheers. "I mean, I know you said you would, but I wasn't sure if you actually would." Excitement coils itself around me, nervous about being this close to someone. All it would take for disaster to strike is a brush. A simple touch would cause the need inside me to grow. If you look through, you should be able to see the start of it," George says, his voice cracking as he speaks. I step around him, careful to keep my distance. Leaning down to the place he indicates, I am flabbergasted by the details I see. Never before have I seen stars that are not stars at all, but flaming rocks. "Pretty amazing, isn't it?" George asks, a bit of awe in his voice. "When I was alive, this was my favorite thing to do." I stand up straight, a shiver rippling down my body. When he was alive? I turn to stare at him, and then I finally notice it. The tilt of his head not sitting quite right on his shoulders. "A broken neck," I gasp. "Don't be afraid. I would never hurt you," he says quickly, holding up his hands in surrender. I smile back at him, my hands clenched into fists at my side. "I'm not afraid of you," I tell him softly. Slowly, I peel off my gloves, my gnarled hands the only evidence visible of my curse. Slowly, I reach up to touch his cheek. "You can't die twice," I whisper softly as he smiles at me. "You're even prettier than the literature indicated," he says shyly. "Will you help me, George?" I purr as I unfurl my wings. I grow hungry for the taste of flesh. The end. So what'd you think? I think it was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Didn't see the surprise coming at the end from old Georgie there. And we didn't lose power, so that's a good thing too. Hopefully you all enjoyed it as well. Mama, hey! How's it going? Author, right here, in the stream, live with us. So if you have any questions, putting her on the spot, ask away. Mama's here. Fantastic story. And we're about to get into your second one here. And like I was saying earlier, I don't know if you heard, but there is a pretty good thunderstorm going on outside. So if I suddenly leave, it's because I lost power. So if that happens, we'll roll with it. Either I'll come back or we'll continue next Monday. One or the other. We'll roll with it. Also, quick announcement too. I'll say it again here at the end of the stream, but I won't be here this Wednesday. I'm going to push Wednesday's stream to Thursday. I got my son's band performance going on Wednesday, so I'll have to push everything to Thursday this week. But it'll still be Whiskey Wednesday. We'll just call it Thursday. See what I did there? And we'll do the thing. So have no fear. It'll be here this week. I have to push it one day. You know how it goes. Life, things, adulting, fun stuff. I don't mind being on the spot. Well, good. Whoop, man. Have a good time at the performance. Well, thank you, Mirage. I appreciate it. I will. He wants to go for concert band next year, but this is his first year in his middle school band, and he is a percussionist, which means he gets to beat on things to a beat, which, hey, what more could a 13-year-old want, right? You can't get in trouble because it's music. Win-win. All right. This next story that we have here, and let me see, where are we at? Shay, how's it going on YouTube there? Juicy, nice, absolutely. Let's see, how are we doing on time? We're good. I think we might even be able to make it through most of this next story before the ad break catches up, if I can somehow shut the yapper and get reading. So let's get to it. This one is called Stonework by our very own Mama Rednax here in the chat. All right. Before I jump in, I was a French horn player. Okay. I got drawn in by playing the Skywalker theme. Dang them. That, hey, that would draw me into. Fantastic little horn piece too. Or part in that. You obviously never were in band. We got into all kinds of trouble. I actually was in band in high school. I played trumpet. And then later I dropped that and started playing guitar for the choir. So, shenanigans, yes, but hey, he'll get into his own shenanigans. He's a good kid. He doesn't do anything. Let's get into the story. All right. Stonework. When the manifest came in, the contents were listed as stonework. For Jeff, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. He'd unloaded the cargo, double-checked the manifest, and relocated the contents to the appropriate locations around the warehouse. Then promptly forgot about the 7-foot crate that he had moved. That was, until making his rounds the last hour of his shift. "I'm telling you, it's here," a voice echoes from somewhere in the near vicinity. Jeff pauses, the soles of his shoes squeaking slightly against the recently mopped floor. There shouldn't be anyone else in the warehouse. "Are you sure about this? What if it's just a statue? Aren't you going to feel stupid for destroying a statue?" The first voice was undoubtedly older, while the second voice is a younger man, someone probably around Jeff's age. Should have done that voice younger. Let me redo that. "Are you sure about this? What if it's just a statue? Aren't you going to feel stupid for destroying a statue?" The first voice was undoubtedly older, while the second voice is a younger man, someone probably around Jeff's age. You're questioning me? You were the one who said we should kill it. Now you're scared of a little blood on your hands?" The large crate that came in today, crowbar in hand, readying to open it. "Stop!" Jeff shouts, but the two men covered in metal don't listen. They continue to pry the box apart until a statue is uncovered. The men look like knights from medieval times. Metal armor covers their bodies from head to toe, only the style doesn't look right. "What do you think you're doing?" Jeff shouts at them. "Stand back, citizen," the older voice says. "You'll awaken." Before he can finish his statement, the statue begins to shudder. Cracks begin to form in the rock as a loud moan begins. Jeff is shocked into stillness as the pieces of stone begin to fall away, and the moan becomes a groan that grows into a roar as giant wings flap, tossing pieces of stone around the area. From the crumbling stonework rises a dark shape. Clawed hands clench as its muscles strain and bulge. Wings extend into an extensive wingspan, nearly 10 feet wide. Red eyes blink for a moment before an evil smirk forms on the lips of the creature. "Back, you foul beast!" the older voice shouts as he pulls a sword from its scabbard. The creature turns and roars at the knight, saliva dripping from its razor-sharp teeth. It reaches out with a powerful arm and swipes at the knight, who blocked the assault with his sword. "Run, Phineas! Save yourself!" The older knight swung in a counterattack, but the sword bounced off the skin of the beast with a ringing clash. "Come on!" Phineas said to Jeff. "We have to get out of here!" Grabbing Jeff by the collar of his shirt and pulling him forward. Quickly they ran through the warehouse, but the horrific screams of the older knight's loss to the creature made it feel as if they were standing still. "We have to get to the cathedral of our angelic lady. We have to find sanctuary," Phineas cried, urging Jeff to run faster. As they storm out the doorway into the night, the stars above glitter in the moonlight. A roar echoes behind them as the roof to the warehouse is torn apart, the demon rising up into the sky. Together, Phineas and Jeff ran into the wooded lot, their attempt to escape the beast seeming to have worked for now, as they should be able to make it to their destination now. Jeff hears another roar just behind him, and despite all his instincts, he looks behind him. Swooping down between the trees, it's the demon, its maw open in a deafening roar. Smack! Jeff jerks, losing his balance and nearly falling.
Did you hear any of what I just said? His boss, Phineas Knight, asks in a stern voice. Stop slacking off on the job. I don't pay you to sleep. Now go receive the next shipment. Jeff rubs his face, trying to shake the remnants of his dream from him. Heading to the bay, Jeff waves to the old man in the driving truck. Got a heavy one here for you tonight, Jeff, Bill says. Glad to have the help moving this thing. Jeff stares down at the manifest in horror. The shipment marked on the paperwork reads, Stonework. The end. Fantastic stuff there, Mama Rednax. Absolutely awesome. I love the twist at the very end there. The incorporation of Phineas and the old man. I love it. Into his daydream. Or was it? I love it. Good stuff. That's exactly kind of what I want in like a nice short story, like a nice little twist at the end, and then cliffhang me right there. It's perfect. Perfect, I tell you. Oh, somebody kept me accountable there with the flubs. Or did I hit it on accident? I don't know. Oh, Shay kept me accountable on YouTube, so it did work. YouTube into Twitch. Thank you very much. It's pretty generous. I think there was more than 2. So, like I said, for those of you turning it into a drinking game, drink responsibly. It can get out of control. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to bring this one up real quick. Where is it? There we go. Fantastic stories. Let me type in here real quick again, just so that you all have it. You got my back, Shay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Let me give you a little bit of information about the author of tonight's 2 stories that we just read, and about the pieces that just read out loud there for you. Are these anywhere in publication there yet? I'm in a compilation or collection, or I know one of them you said you entered into a short story contest, right? How did that go, if that's already over with? I'm curious. And then feel free to check out their channel too. Hopefully that came across to YouTube. It did. Good. Awesome. It works. I fixed it. And I'm about to tear apart this entire stream and rebuild it from the ground up, because I just figured out a thing that might allow me to stream from my booth across my local network. It's a technology called NDI. I kind of sort of knew about it existing, but I've never really dived into it and researched it. And it's exactly what I need to make the whole distance streaming thing work. So I just downloaded the tools the other night, so I'm going to have to play around and see if I can get it working. But I'm going to tear everything apart, build it back together, and we're going to have cool in the booth streaming. Hopefully. That's the goal, at least. See here. Nope, you are debuting Stonework. Ooh, and Be Still, My Beating Heart won that week's submission. Very cool. Congratulations on winning that week's submission. And we got an exclusive. Did you hear that? We didn't even know it. We got an exclusive. That's how lucky you are. Only here on, the 456 stream do you get exclusive works like the one you just heard. It's the only one we've ever had. But you got to start somewhere. And they're fantastic too. So, continuing the streak of reading fantastic stories. So, up next, I think what I'm going to read right before I get out of here, there's a cool little story that I ran across. It's a public domain story, actually, written in where it takes place in kind of the Irish countryside. The short story is called The House on the Borderland by William Hope Hodgson. And I won't be reading the whole thing tonight, just a little sneak peek, if you will, kind of like a next time on Macabre Monday, next Monday. This is what we'll be getting into. So I think we'll just read through a little bit of it here, maybe up until the ad break, to give you a little taste of what's coming, and then we'll do the whole thing next Macabre Monday. So it'll be an extended Macabre Monday. This one will be, it's a short story, but it's long enough. We'll be here for a bit. So we might even have to break up into two. We'll see. Let's start. So, The House on the Borderland by William Hope Hodgson. It's from the manuscript discovered in 1877 by Messrs. Tonneson and Berignog in the ruins that lie to the south of the village of Creighton in the west of Ireland. Set out here with the notes, and then they have like each section of the manuscript is broken into like subsections. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, that's 25, 26, 27. There's 27 little subsections or chapters, I guess you could call them. Starts off with a poem. To my father, whose feet tread the lost eons. Open the door and listen. Only the wind's muffled roar and the glisten of tears round the moon, and in fancy the tread of vanishing shoon. Out in the night with the dread, hush and hark to the sorrowful cry of the wind in the dark. Hush and hark, without murmur or sigh, to shone that tread the lost eons, to the sound that bids you to die. Hush and hark, shone of the dead. Shoon of the dead. All right. Then it breaks into the introduction, and that's probably all we'll get time to do, which will be a perfect little taste of what'll be up on next Monday. We'll go into break and then head back to the desk, wrap up some stuff, and then pass you along to somebody else that's doing the reading or writing thing. So here we go. Author's introduction to the manuscript. Many are the hours in which I have pondered upon the story that is set forth in the following pages. I trust that my instincts are not awry when they prompt me to leave the account in simplicity as it was handed to me. And the manuscript itself, there's the sound of the ad break coming, so we'll go ahead and pause right here. As a matter of fact, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll continue to read it here, and if you're on YouTube, great. You're getting the sneak peek, and those pesky children on Twitch won't get it. Here we go. You must picture me when first it was given into my care, turning it over curiously and making a swift, jerky examination. A small book it is, but thick and all, save the last few pages, filled with a quaint but legible handwriting, and writ very close. I have the queer, faint pitwater smell of it in my nostrils now as I write, and my fingers have subconscious memories of the soft, cloggy feel of the long, damp pages. I read, and, in reading, lifted the curtains of the impossible that blind the mind, and look out into the unknown. Amid stiff, abrupt sentences I wandered, and presently I had no fault to charge against their abrupt tellings, for, better far than my own ambitious phrasing, is this mutilated story capable of bringing home all that the old recluse of the vanished house had striven to tell. Of the simple, stiffly given account of weird and extraordinary matters, I will say little. It lies before you. The inner story must be uncovered, personally, by each reader according to ability and desire. And even should any fail to see, as now I see, the shadowed picture and conception of what that to which one may well give the accepted titles of heaven and hell, yet I can promise certain thrills merely taking the story as a story. William Hope Hodgson, December 17th, 1907. The first chapter is The Finding of the Manuscript. And we will pause there and head back to the desk and then call her a night. Shall we? If I can find my button. There it is. Oh
Man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Fantastic stories tonight, by the way. Hopefully, the volume is a little bit better. Why am I getting a public service call? What is this? Public service? Oh, okay. One of those political ones. I was like, public service announcement. What is that? I had this like vision in my head since we're having like thunderstorms of like the sound that you get, like this is just a test, you know. The national broadcast. I thought it was that kind of public service announcement. No. Spam. Spam. The volume is better. Okay, good. Good. Thank you. I noticed like when I looked over at my interface that the one for this channel was turned way down for some reason. I don't know why. I probably did it, or somebody was in here messing with my knobs. Something like that. Anyways, two fantastic stories tonight. Be Still, My Beating Heart, and Stonework by our very own Macabre Rednax. So I hope you enjoyed those. And if they ever become available on like a collection or compilation or something, let us know so that we can advertise that out there for you. And maybe we can get our hands on reading the rest if there is such a thing in the future. So that would be very cool. And then a little sneak peek at the very end of what we're going to be doing next, Macabre Monday, which I'm going to be doing, I think, a little bit longer of a stream. We'll see. I'm going to try to get the whole piece in. It may not happen. We might have to split it up into two. Also, instead of next Wednesday for Whiskey Wednesday like we normally do, it's going to be Thirsty Thursday. We're going to push that to Thursday because Little Dude has a band performance. So I have to go to that on Wednesday. So we're going to push it to Thursday. Same great show. Same opportunity to sit back, relax, enjoy a beverage, whatever it may be, and just, you know, listen to some good stories by some independent authors. Mostly independent authors. This one will be an independent author as well. So actually, I can tell you who it's going to be if I can bring up my schedule right here. I have to write everything down. Otherwise, I will not remember. This is the wrong month. We got to go back. Yeah, this one will be Mourn Not the Mortals by Jordan Smith. And that'll be Thursday, the 20th this week. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed. Shay, thanks for keeping me accountable with the flub counter for this evening. I appreciate it. Just, you know, it's one of those things. You know, you shoot for the low score, and sometimes chat is rooting against you for the high score. I get it. I understand. I would be too. I would be too. It's fine. I don't take it personal. And hopefully by next week, I can get the whole NDI thing working and we can do some streams from inside the booth because that would be super cool. I've been wanting to do that since I got the booth because I want to be in the booth all the time because it's awesome. Anyways, let's see if we can find, shall we, a streamer that we can pass this off to. Let's do a little bit of reading. Hopefully, let's look through the friends. Let's see who we got on here. You want to do that with a unicorn horn? I mean, I'm interested now. Are they actually reading, though? Let's see. I think I might have found somebody for us. Let me see. Tales from the Internet. Maybe not. They might not even be here right now. All right, well, let's look in the actual reading and writing category. I don't want to pass you off to no one. I've done that before. Let's not do that again. Do we meet new peeps? Let's see. Oh, that would be interesting. How many of you know German? I go to a German stream. Except I wouldn't be able to converse with them. Ooh, a Spanish stream too. I like it. Like the reading category, at least as of late, and maybe it has been this whole time, is really like expanding to other non-English speakers that are reading and writing, which is friggin' fantastic. I love seeing that. I just love seeing kind of the genre itself or the category itself expanding. Super cool. Do we have any readers? Oh, maybe. I think we may have found. Nope, that is Spanish. Reading a book though. That's fantastic. Eating everything. Okay. All right. Well, let's do a pass over here to Anthology, English writing, variety streamer. Okay, it looks like they're writing. I don't have any reading streamers at the moment that are on. Darn it. Well, let's go over to a writing one then. How about that? Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, they're sprint writing. I don't know. Let's see here. How about we just jump out of the category, since I don't see anybody on that is doing that. Let's do... What sounds interesting? Oh, here we go. Fellow voice actor and audiobook narrator. Let's do that. Easy peasy. Here we go. Set up the raid, toss you over there to this wonderful, talented individual. I will see you all next Thursday this week, and of course, the following Monday. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate you. Have a nice night. I'll see you Thursday. Thanks for joining in. Bye-bye.
There should be two more, right? Hello. Five! Hello! How are you? How was your Monday? Where the heck is this file?